Developing the ability to let go will accelerate your spiritual growth. Think of a time in your life when you let go of something, when you made a change and the things in your life got even better. One of the challenges of spiritual growth is learning to release those things that no longer serve us. Bless them as they leave and embrace the new as it comes. Welcome, guys, to the channel, True Higher Self. This is your host, Kelly. Today, we're talking about non-attachment or detachment. There's great benefit here. Certainly a great lesson to be learned as it relates to spiritual growth. So let's jump straight into it. Letting go is the theme. Letting go and feeling good about letting go and understanding the value of non-attachment. Letting go is an important aspect of growing, of spiritual growth. In order to grow, you may want to let go of an attitude, such as anger or sadness. Sometimes you'll need to let go of roles, such as pretending to be a victim or even a savior. Sometimes you'll need to let go of a relationship, a job, or even a way of life. Learn to open to the new and release the old when it no longer serves you. Everything comes into your life to teach you something. I think a lot of us, maybe we're not taught this aspect of life, and it seems a little foreign, and especially when it's the first time you hear about this, because our idea of love is not an agape type of love. It's more of a romanticized film edition of love, willing to go to the ends of the earth and die and do all these certain things for love. And really, there's a strong level of attachment, and it has, I guess, more to do with the way we feel about ourselves versus the other person, because really what we're concerned about is how the other person makes us feel, and we don't want to lose that. True love and the agape type of love has more attention and more focus on the well-being of the other person. Not to say that we want to sacrifice ourselves for someone else, but my point is we've not really understood the true essence of love. And so a lot of the things that we do in the name of love, when it comes to relationships and things that we say that we love in our lives, be it our cars, our homes, our places in life, really, we've got to readjust our focus, if you will, and to see the real value in life is not so much what you can do for yourself, but we're here to aid and to assist others. And the cool thing about that is the other is also us. So we find a lot of value and a lot of satisfaction in helping and providing and assisting and loving other people. We just have to do it from a more observant standpoint and not interrupt the growth process of the other person or ourselves. Now, there's a common belief that growth requires suffering. So everything I just described really has to do with the suffering aspect in relationships that, quite honestly, are over. We hang on to them because they're common. We're used to the other person. We're afraid of the unknown. And somehow we've masked all of that under the idea of love. And really it's not. It's fear. It's fear. One of the greatest causes of suffering is attachment. Some people think that they need to hang on to what they have, for it might be the best they'll ever get. Maybe you've heard someone say that they're staying in a relationship because perhaps they don't think anyone else may want them. Or at this age, who else is gonna want me at this weight? Maybe you're still in a career because you think that you cannot have a better career or have a better job, or you don't have the confidence in yourself to launch out and create your own entrepreneurship. These are examples of things that we're holding on to that are not really serving us, but yet we're afraid to let them go. So today we're going to really get into how do we make those changes and those decisions in life, and how do we do them in a way, like Abraham Esther Hicks says, how do we engage into the path of least resistance when it's a really difficult decision, because a lot of times you're in a long-term relationship and it's not serving you. It's not an easy decision just to walk away one day. I get that. Same way with the career. It's not easy to just walk out on paychecks when you're deciding to become an entrepreneur. That's a pretty difficult decision. So let's talk about how to do that. Look at the things and the people and the situations in your life right now. Is there anything that you would like to release? Ask your higher self to assist you in releasing anything that is not for your higher good. Here's the first way to be able to release the things in our lives that are not necessarily serving us, that I also think we were not taught and that we don't really put a lot of value in. Ask yourself, ask your higher self. You are your higher self. And you know, even at a gut level, when things are working and when they're not. And you know that it's time to leave. You've had these conversations. Really, I'll be honest with you, because I've been through this many times in my life, where I'll know that I'm not enjoying my career, my current position, whether it is the company I'm working for or whether it's the work that I'm doing. I'm not enjoying it. And I've had a few conversations with myself, be it on the way there or on the way home, about the possibilities of doing something different. But for some reason, I find myself going back day after day. Why? Because I know it's comfortable and I'm being paid. So have I ever engaged in really having a deep discussion with myself about how do I get from here to there, to where I want to be, First things first, you're your higher self. Trust yourself. Submit these ideas, these questions to your higher self. Know that your subconscious, which is connected to all there is, which is your Lord, really, can lead you and guide you in and through the deepest and the darkest, or the highest and the lightest. It works all the time, and it knows what's best for you, and it even knows the best path for you to take in order to get there. So, approach change as a great adventure. Believe that all change is for your higher good, or it wouldn't be happening. You can learn to cope with change in joyful, peaceful ways by trusting the universe is friendly and that your higher self really loves you and is looking out for you. One of the most difficult attachments to let go of might be your attachment to your viewpoints, to your beliefs, to your judgments. You're always being challenged to think, as it relates to your spiritual growth, you're always being challenged to think in new and expansive ways. So the old ways, the old ideology is going to be challenged. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. So they both cannot stay. One has to stay while the other goes. Let go of your strong preferences and opinions. They are attachments that can take a lot of your energy. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about spiritual growth. We're talking about overall productivity and efficiency as it relates to your life and how you live. And we want to protect our minds. We want to protect our emotions. And we don't want to exert energy into areas that are going to be fruitless. We don't want to waste time or energy, or at least feel like we are. Start practicing non-attachment by taking one small thing you feel attached to and pretending for one day that you are not attached to it. So it's your second little exercise here. One thing. Figure out one thing that you really, really love, and then for a day, act as if you don't have it. It's not yours anymore. You also need to learn detachment from strong emotions and situations that might take you out of your calm, clear center. Whether you're in the middle of a relationship and you're with the person that one day, here's the thing. I think probably as an adult, we've all been here. You've been in that relationship where your emotions, as the other person goes, so go you. That is to say, the person can be really, really excited and happy about something. And so that means you both are excited and happy about something because that energy is in the room, in the house that day. And then the very next day, that person could be down in the dumps and super depressed or upset over something. And of course, the energy tanks because you are assuming the same energy as the other person. That is a terrible, terrible way to exist, because you've entrusted and you've allowed the energy of this other person to really magnetize you and allow you to follow his or her path. And it is a feeling of non-control. It is a feeling of almost desperation of wanting to be happy, but you're not subject to your own happiness because you value so much this other person, their opinions and what they think, to the point where whatever mood they're in, it seems, you seem to sort of follow. Now, you also need to learn detachment from these strong emotions that we just talked about, because you don't want to be knocked off your center. You could be having a great day, and when that person comes in a room and they begin complaining about something, or something's really, bad in their purview, they could really drag you out of your really good place, and you don't want that. It's okay to allow them to go through whatever they're going through. We just don't have to do it with them. And I believe that we think love is doing it with them. Now, in order to do this, observe what is going on around you calmly and without judgment. It is as if you can create an inner sanctuary, your inner safe space. You go inside, where only the guidance and the direction of your higher self can influence you. So you go inside, you have this conversation with yourself, your higher self, and you simply observe. You simply observe. Learn to trust your intuition and take action on the messages you receive. In order for you to receive the messages, in order for you to feel the intuition, you've got to be quiet. That's what the inner sanctuary is about. To effectively get your work out to the world, you'll need to learn detachment. You'll need to learn to detach from others and what they think of you. If it's important, and a lot of times it is, and you worry about being liked or appreciated or understood, then you're going to run into some problems, because I've done this as well. You're really concerned. People are close to you, people you love, your spouse, your partner, and you want, their buy-in. It's almost a natural sort of thing. But we've got to take a step back. We're growing higher to a higher level of consciousness and say, listen, this isn't about me, so certainly it's not about them. It's about the higher good. And so from that standpoint, if this is something that I need to do, whether my partner agrees with it or not, if for the higher good, that's the direction I need to go. Now, you're at the forefront of a new consciousness, and many of your ideas are new. So it's going to take an evolved person to appreciate your new ideas. It's important to let go of personal ambition as well. If you are tuning into and following the higher plan, all good things will come to you. Make your decisions not on what you think you will get out of doing things, but on how much your actions contribute to others. This is what we talked about before. Take the focus off of you and concentrate and focus on your higher will, and the purpose is others and not you. Now, simultaneously and unbeknownst to you, everything is you anyway. So when you're helping others, you're also helping yourself. It's just not done in a first-person focus, if you will. Now, detach from needing to have things work out any certain way. The universe is perfect and there are no failures. Now, I can talk about this all day. I think before in another video, I talked about how I had this list, and I've had it since I was a kid. It was a mental list of things I wanted to accomplish in life. At certain ages, I wanted to have certain things accomplished. I knew when I wanted to go to college. I knew when I wanted to get married. I knew when I wanted to have kids and, career and all these sorts of things. And when you have lists like this and you have demands that things have to work out a certain way, your wife has to look a certain way, you want a boy and a girl in a house with a picket fence and all these sorts of things, you make it really rigid and you make it life really difficult to please you, because quite honestly, you're not the dance. You're just the dancer. So life is going to just take you as it would like to take you, because that's what you're here for. But if you are determined to be the dancer and the dance, you're going to have suffering, because you're trying to make life fit into your mold. And quite honestly, the beauty of life is to sit back and to accept the perfection of the universe and of the source that resides inside you, and knowing the perfection of all things, and that no matter what happens, all things work out for your good. Life is wonderful, and it's going to take you on this excellent adventure, and you just can't wait to see what tomorrow's going to bring. That doesn't exist on a mental sheet or a piece of paper or anything like that. And I really believe that's the reason why a lot of us suffer, because we won't allow life to do what life wants to do. We want to put the round pin into the square hole, irregardless of what the instructions say. So, attachment is wanting to take people. Attachment is wanting to take care of people and solve their problems for them. Now, this is another piece of it as well. Non-attachment will give you a clear perspective on how much assistance to give, how much people will be able to use your assistance, and when to stop giving to them. Sometimes the only thing you can do for people is simply love them and let them have their problems. Learn to detach from people's personalities, their pettiness, or their little faults. Focus instead on their greatness, and you'll experience more of this. This is to say that you have the ability to create your own experience, even when it comes to people that are close to you and people that you care about greatly. I'll give you a personal example. I've been married for many, many years, and I know this to be absolutely true. Whatever mood and whatever judgment or whatever imagination I use as it relates to my wife is what I get. Example, if I decide to concentrate on everything that she does incompletely or incorrectly, I'm going to see more of that. And it's going to create a feeling within myself, which is going to stir up emotions, which will then stir up emotions in her. And what I will get in the end is more of the incompleteness and more of the incorrectness. However, I found that if I reverse that, if I focus on all the wonderful things that she does and the wonderful characteristics that she has, I'll get more of that. And that'll evoke feelings in me as well. And those feelings in me will evoke feelings in her that will exude more of those wonderful characteristics in her. Look for the good in people. You could always find something negative or something incomplete, but look for the good. And if you look for the good, you'll see it. And then you'll continue to see it. Some of us are attached to other people's opinions. And we base some of our actions and decisions on their love, their approval, and their validation. We talked a little bit about that before. The need to save people also from their mistakes is an attachment. That'll keep your spiritual growth slow, and also will slow theirs. Are there people in your life right now that you feel sorry for? Or are there people in your life that you're trying to bail out of their problems that they are creating for themselves? The truth is, the tendency is not so much for you to help them, but rather for them to hurt you. That's usually what happens, so be aware of that. Before you pour your energy into changing or assisting people, let go of your need to have other people grow, or appreciate you, or act in any particular way towards you. Take out the ego part of why you're doing what you're doing. Sometimes your strong desire to have them change may be the very thing that keeps them from changing or from growing. As you detach and stop worrying about them, they will feel freer to grow or to change. Don't be hard on yourself if you don't feel like spending as much time either with friends that you used to hang out with all the time, and actually probably people who refuse to grow. Be open to changes in them and encourage them when it's appropriate, but give yourself the permission to spend your time where it brings you the most joy. That's something also that I think we really need to prioritize. Prioritize you. I spent a lot of years of my life wanting and even needing to satisfy the people I love because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. And in the interim, I realized I was most dissatisfied. So, while it is perfectly fine to love people and it's perfectly fine to assist people, at a higher consciousness, you should ask yourself, how do I do these things and still provide the maximum results for them as well as myself? Ask your higher self, how do I go about this? teach me and show me. I want the best for myself. I want to be my best self. And I know that by being my best self, I can help and provide and bring my gifts to the world in the best way. You will find much more joy and inner peace when you release your attachments. Developing the quality of non-attachment will give you freedom. You will have a sense of well-being no matter what people around you are doing. Non-attachment is an important attitude on the path of spiritual growth and mastery. Just think about that. You'll have a sense of well-being no matter what the people around you are doing. In the world we live today, in the social environment we live today, so many people are dependent upon likes and comments and people favoring what they are saying or what they are doing. And their happiness depends upon it. Imagine living a life where no matter what is going on around you, you are completely contained within your own personal sanctuary, and your well-being is as high and as well as it's ever been. No one can touch it because you know exactly who you are, and you are your true higher self. Thanks, guys, for joining me today. I hope you've gotten a lot out of this. Make sure that you subscribe below to get your free ebook. Check us out soon. We'll have more content up. Thanks.